Welcome back to Veneer Creations Suncatcher tutorials. This week we're going to be making this double wrapped beaded suncatcher. So the centre hoop has been wrapped twice with beads. The DIY kit for this suncatcher will be linked down below, and the list of materials needed for this will be also in that link. And other than that, let's get into it. Layers. So I'm going to wrap the 6-inch hoop. Just get some of your 24 gauge wire, 130 centimetres. And then I'm going to use this wire now to wrap around, that's if I don't drop my wire, to wrap around this hoop. So get your wire, 24 gauge, 130 centimetres. And then you're just going to wrap once, twice, 3 times, and I'm just going to go for 4 there. 3 or 4 times should be enough. Just enough so it's on securely. Then the next thing I'm going to do is get some beads. Oh! Just make sure they don't go everywhere like that. Always happens to me. And we're going to wrap the beads onto the hoop. So first I'm going to start with a clear bead. Pop it onto your wire all the way down the length of it. Put it right to the base of your hoop. Hold it there with your finger and then wrap around again with your wire. So you're gonna wrap around like that. Let me just show you a bit closer. So as you can see, there's one bead on and it's wrapped around once. Now I'm going to add a crystal chip. They'll all be different sizes, your crystal chips, because they're natural stones. I always try and vary my crystal chips so that I have like small, a big one, a small one, a big one, and not just all the big chips together, if that makes sense. So now put that chip right to the base of your hoop. And again, use your finger to keep it in place, like so. And then bend the wire around it, or wrap the wire around it. And then it's fixed on. And then you're going to need another bead. Again, put that all the way down to the base of your hoop, like so. And wrap. When you've come about halfway around, just doing the same pattern, add your last chip, and then you want to wrap about 3 times again. So I'm going to wrap once, twice, 3 times. And you can use scissors or your pliers if you've got them. Just cut that off, and then either use your finger to, if you can see, so that's just got like 3 wraps on it now, so it'll stay secure, so you can add the next lot of wire. If you're already a Patreon member, you'll know all about the amazing perks of joining, like 20% off our website, early access to all Suncatcher tutorials, and priority access to our DIY kit restocks and new Suncatcher collections, which, as you know, sell out fast. We have 3 tiers to choose from. I personally recommend the All Suncatchers Tutorials tier, where you get access to every tutorial I create, plus everything included in the mini Suncatcher Tutorials tier. But if you're just looking for a few tutorials, plus the 20% off discount, early access and collection releases, the mini tier might be perfect for you. And for all my fellow business owners, we have a small business tier where I share all my wholesale suppliers and include a few extra videos to help you on your journey, plus everything from the other 2 tiers. If you'd love to join us and unlock these perks, check out our Patreon linked below. But for now, let's get back to the tutorial. So get your next wire, again 130 centimetres of 24 gauge wire. So now that's straight, I'm going to wrap this again around the base of the hoop, right next to where you finished last time. So 1, 2, 3. That's wrapped about 3 times there. Ooh. Just get it as close to the point where you wrapped it last. And then I'm going to start with a clear bead because the last bead, the last chip that I used is there, so I use a bead this time. You just carry on the same pattern as you did before. So now I'm coming to the end of the hoop. I'm just going to add 1 more chip. Just going to get a small one because I've not got much room left on the hoop. Put that right to the base. Wrap once. And then I'm going to wrap just like I did before 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 for good luck. Cut that off. And there you have your hoop. Now I'm going to add the extra beads onto the 6-inch hoop. So we're going to add the wire around here. So where you've added and ended your wire here and here, you're going to add yours here, so you'll have 2 little like wraps of wire here, if that makes sense. Can you see? That's where you ended and started. So you're going to add your wire here, And you just do it the exact same way, so you're just going to wrap once, twice, and 3 times. It's a bit harder to get it down when you've already got beads on it. Yep, so that is attached, so now you've got your wire attached. Now I'm going to get 2 beads, 2 clear 6" beads to the base of my hoop like this, and put them as close to your hoop as possible on one side of your beads like that, and then wrap. So it'll be 2 beads away from where you've wrapped. So let me just show you a moment. So I'm going to wrap round once like this. So that's where I've added the beads here, and then I've wrapped around here. So you're kind of wrapping it after 2 beads. Well, a bead and a chip, and then I've wrapped it round there. I'll show you again. So add another 2. So there's 2 here, and then I'm going to wrap them round here. Can you see? So there's a bead and a chip, and then I'm wrapping all the way around so it's secure, like that. And then keep going. So add 2 beads. Right to the base of the hoop, and then I'm going to wrap around here because that's where I wrapped the first time. Bead, chip, and then I wrap round here. Wrap round. And then add another 2. Make sure it's nice and tight. When you've come about halfway around, like so, so I've started here and I'm here now, you're going to wrap on the last 2 beads. So these are my beads here, so I'm going to wrap 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to cut. There you go, they're nice on there. Right, now I'm going to get another 130 centimetres of the 24 gauge wire, and I'm going to wrap that on where I've just wrapped the other one on. So here, put you a bit closer. So I'm going to wrap this wire on now. 1, 2, 3. I've kind of wrapped it over the wire that was already there because it needs to be in the same place. Oh, it's not flat to the hoop, it needs to be flat to the hoop. So if you've got pliers, it's much easier to pull it on and kind of manoeuvre it around the hoop. It's just tricky. It's the same way you're wrapping it on as before, but because it's in between these beads, it's a little trickier. But you should be able to do it. Then, whoop, my wire is now attached. And I'm going to start adding more beads again. So 1 bead, 2 bead. Get that all the way down to the base of your hoop, and then I'm going to wrap. Them beads on. Then another 2 beads, all the way down to the base, chip bead, and then wrap on. And keep going. So I'm just coming to the end now of adding my second layer of beads. So I'm going to add 2, and then wrap, and then my last 2, so adding my last 2, and then you wrap around where you last wrapped, so you're kind of wrapping on top of your last of where you first wrapped on your wire. So wrapping that 3 times, cut that wire off, and then you can use either your fingers, or if you've got pliers you can use that to pat it down. So now I've got my almost, I think it's like a triple layered bead hoop. I think that looks absolutely stunning. This is the first time I've ever done this as well, so you're learning along with me. Done that. I've got one of my 3-inch hoops here, and I'm going to wrap it in my 130cm length of 24 gauge gold wire, or golden wire, and then I'm going to wrap it. So I'm just going to wrap 1, 2, 3. So to secure it on, you're just going to wrap 3 times like that. Then I've got the beads I'm going to use to wrap it with. So first I'm going to get one of my little glass beads. They look lovely in the sun, these, and I'm going to thread it through right to the base of your hoop, and then hold that bead in place with these 2 fingers so that it stays on the outer part of your hoop, and then go round your hoop and up like that, and then round and up, and then that bead now is secure. Can you see it's moving around still? But once you've got all your beads on and you keep making sure it's on the outside, they'll kind of stay on the outside of the hoop. Right, now I'm going to get one of my clear beads, so clear quartz beads. So this is the real clear quartz crystal bead. So I'm just going to thread that through like we did before. And again, I'm going to wrap, holding it in place with this finger. So you wrap once around and then you add another bead. Can you see there? So I'm wrapping the bead on, then you wrap around again and then you add another bead. So add another bead. Threading that bead through. Hold it in place. As tight as you can. And then round again. Ready for your next bead. So we're going to do clear quartz and then a clear bead and then clear quartz. Or if you choose a different, you can choose a different chip bead if you wanted to. But for this one I'm using clear. And you're just going to continue to do that all the way around while making sure that your beads stay on the outside of your hoop. And this wire should go all the way around. Now we've gone all the way around and wrapped all the crystals and beads on, I'm going to wrap one more clear quartz. So I'm just going to wrap like I did before, and then you'll meet where you started and you just literally wrap 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then you can use scissors or pliers just to cut that off. And then I just use my thumb to just make sure that's flat to the hoop, and that is your. Now get your moon charms, star charms, your hoop, your little tear prism, your octagons and your jump loops. Playing around with like how I want this chain to be at the minute. I think like that. Yeah, we'll go with that. Now we're gonna just undo these beads, so you'll need to undo them so they're in one beaded chain, if that makes sense. So I'm undoing all the beads from this chain so they stand with just one bead like that. So I think I'm gonna need 1, 2, 3, I think we'll need 4, so yeah, do 4 and then put that to one side. So firstly, get your first bead, your chain from your beaded chain, your bead that was from your chain, and close up one side and add a jump loop. So this is closed up, and now I'm going to add a jump loop. I'm just going to use my nail for this one to put it through. And then I'm going to add the other side of this beaded chain to the star. And then I'm going to use my pliers to close that up to the top of the star. Then the bottom of your next bead from your chain, add that to the bottom of your star and close that up. Then get another jump loop, and now I'm going to do it with these round, what are they called? What are these called again? Bent nose pliers, that's it. And add that to an octagon, like so. And then add the other side to your beaded chain. If you want to know in detail how to do jump loops, I've just done a tutorial on Patreon, so if you can find that on my Patreon, if you're struggling with adding your jump loops. So now I'm going to add another split ring, sorry, not jump loops, the split rings. Pull it out, put that under, add it to the hole. Pull it out, put that under, add it to the top of your moon, the top hole. Then get your next octagon and a jump loop. Oh. And add that to the top of your octagon shape. Just gonna use my nails to do this bit. And then add the octagon to the bottom of the moon, like so. So it should look like this so far. Then add that bottom jump loop that you just added to another octagon shape. And then add a jump loop to the bottom of that. Or a split ring, whatever you're using. These are double split rings. Now I'm going to add another one of these beads from the chain to that jump loop at the bottom. Then when you've got the bead on the bottom like this, so you'll have your moon, jump loop, and then two octagon prisms and then a bead on the bottom. Add another jump loop to the bottom of that bead, and then that jump loop is going to be added to one of your small wrapped hoops, which I recommend using one of these bent nose pliers if you struggle with jump loops, to open it up and then put it around your hoop. Just make sure you don't go under any wires. Twist that on. Whoop. Then get your small prism, add that to a jump loop. Like that. Oh god, it's really out of focus there. And then you're going to add a jump loop to your small hoop. Add that jump loop to the jump loop that's on your wrapped hoop, like so, and then add this jump loop to the jump loop that's on your small hoop, so this one. So like that. That will go on the bottom. Like so. Now we're going to do the next chain, so put that one to one side. So you'll need all the same stuff again. Your moon, your star, your small hoop, your prism, your jump loops, your 3 octagons and your chain. Again, get, I think I only used 3 beads, yeah, no did I? Yeah. 3 beads from my chain, so 1 already done there, and then I'm going to open up another, so I've got another bead, then open up another. So these beads have just got your bead and then the 2 loops either side. So the first thing I'm going to do is get one of the beaded chains. You should have 4 that you've taken from your chain into singular beads. Then get a jump loop and put it on the bead like this, through one of the loops, and then through one of your octagons. Then another jump loop through the other side of the octagon. Then get another octagon and add that jump loop to that octagon, like so. Then get another jump loop, add that to the other side of that octagon, and then you're going to add that to the bottom hole of this moon shape. So it kind of goes like this, upside down. Then get another octagon and add a jump loop to that, and then the other side again. Then add that jump loop to the other side of your moon, so the other hole. Then get your beaded chain. Both of my loops are open, so I'm going to close one and add it to the jump loop you just added at the bottom. So not the one on this side, the one on this side. Add the jump loop to that, and then add that chain bead from that was from your chain to the star, and close. Then add another bead that was from your chain to the other side, and close that up. Then add a jump loop to your beaded hoop. Like I showed you before, you can use the bent nose pliers to do that, to help you along if you need it. And then add that to your bead. So it's like that, added. Now add a jump loop to your prism, and add a jump loop to your small hoop, and also add a jump loop to the top of your beaded hoop. Then attach this jump loop to that one on the top of your beaded hoop, and add the jump loop on your prism to this one that's attached to your small hoop, so it's going to go on there. Then get your string and add that to your very top jump loop that's on this, that's attached to your beaded hoop, and you're just gonna fold that in two and tie a double, oh, I'm gonna do a triple knot. It's 1, 2, ooh, just a normal knot that you would normally do, but I can't even seem to do that today. 2 and then 3, and then cut them ends off. Then add a jump loop to your last 3-inch hoop that's been beaded like so. Add this jump loop on your prism to that jump loop that you've just added to your hoop. So it should look, oh god, like that. Now add a jump loop to your hoop. This one's going to probably be quite tricky because you've got lots of beads on there. So find a place where you think you can add your jump loop, so probably where you've got some wraps of wire. Add your jump loop in a section where you've got, oh, a bit of space, and then twist that on. So can you see? Still doable. And then we're going to get a beaded chain. We're going to get 3 beads on the chain and then open up the link and have your 3 beads on it. Close up both sides of your chain, make sure it's 100% closed, as tight as you can. So then you've got your 3 beaded chain there. Add one side of your beaded chain to your jump loop on your smaller hoop, so like that. And then add the other side of that chain to the jump loop you've just added to your triple beaded hoop. So just do that as you did before, it should go around it. Might be a little trickier than the other one because you've got a lot more beads on this one. And that's your centre one done. Before we start adding the other chains onto this, just add another jump loop in the centre, so you want it directly underneath the one at the top here. So I'm going to add mine here. Mine here. Oh. sure you can move it a little bit once it's on. Yeah, you can, but just try and get it as much as you can underneath that one so it's like a line down. Now I'm going to add the bottom chain, so this is the one where you've got, it kind of lies like that. So you should have your star at the top and your hoop at the bottom. That goes on the bottom one. So add this jump loop at the top of your chain to that jump loop you've just added to your hoop. Like so. Then get your chain that you've moved that's got your string on the top, which is the one you just did, and add oh, we've not added a jump loop to this bit at the bottom, just realised. Add a jump loop to that first. So add a jump loop to your bead at the bottom of that chain. Then add this top one, so the very bottom jump loop on the top one, to your top jump loop on the top of your 6-inch hoop with your triple beads. So them two jump loops are together. So it should be complete now. I'll show you it in the sunshine.